I would like to welcome everybody to our May 15th Brigantine City Council meeting. Can you please rise for the flag salute? Remain standing while our Deputy Mayor Karen View leads us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we are praying for our local police officers and ask you to protect them every day. Watch over them from above and guide them in their decision-making as they perform their duties. Please hold them firmly in your caring hands and keep them from danger so that they can protect us from those who would seek to harm us. Give them the strength to carry on when tragedy strikes. Give them the courage to face the dangers that are so present in this world. Watch over their own families too, as they also need the comfort and prayers of the community. For these things we pray in your name. Amen. Thank you. Please be seated.
Today was the day.
Emmett wants pictures.
All right, Lynn, can you read the Open Public Meetings Act announcement?
This is to advise the meeting notices covering this meeting have been sent and posted as required under the Open Public Meetings Act.
All right, perfect. Chief, join me up front.
Schools, Holy Spirit High School, ACIC, basketball, lacrosse, football. You run into unsolicited, you run into these teachers and its coaches and its employers. They just have nothing to say. So it's just he made it very easy on us, and soon he's gonna pin George with his badge. Oh, speaking of Mike. Next up, we have an opening for Sergeant. John Lyons. Start now. It's John Lyons. Tonight he's getting promoted to sergeant. Got hired in 2011. He's getting up there. Does a great job. U.S. Coast Guard veteran. Was an FTO officer for us, still is. Instrumental in that program. All the officers, right? So it's an important job. Defensive tactics instructor, firearms instructor. So he's John's got that temperament. Nice even keel on the ball. People from things. He just has this way. Calm the situation down. It's like, on the spot. That's sure. He lives here with his wife Lindsay here in Brigantine, and Next up, Lieutenant John Knott. John was hired in '04. He got 20 years in. Way up to sergeant, both like bachelor's and bachelor's. Some time in the detective bureau, Atlantic County SWAT team. Again, he's field training. Now he's getting real involved. John, Coach John, the amount of hours he's put in. Every kid knows him. Generations of kids know him. Parents all know him. And, they're here, so call them. Students wear them.
I, John Knott, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear faith and allegiance to the same government established in the United States and this state under the authority that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform the oath of required of me according to the best of my ability.
John, he costs taxpayers a little bit of money. So we can get him in there. Next up, Captain Steve Ward. Steve's a lieutenant getting promoted to captain. These guys have already been kind of doing this position for a little while, and then we do the ceremony when little background music. Never heard anybody. So Steve was hired in '07. He's on 17 years. Worked his way up to now captain. He's in charge of a lot of different programs. He was in the detective bureau for 5 years. It's our best program. In charge of all the training. Make sure the officers go to all the mandatory training, any supplementary training, supervisory training, all the different training. He coordinates to make sure we hit the state guidelines. He's in charge of the FTO program, so he oversees all the training, make sure everyone's being trained properly. Any task we give Steve, he does it. He does a plane, he does a great report on it. Lives here with his wife and kids, and bring Evan up.
faithfully, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform both duties required of the office of Brigantine Captain, according to the best of my ability. So first of all, one of the things I want to say is how proud I am of our entire police department. You guys are outstanding. So many people told me they moved to Brigantine because they feel safe and they respect and love the job that you do. So, on behalf of the team, thank you for all that you do. George, I have never seen a chief so proud to hire you. He speaks very highly of you everywhere you've gone. Different people know you, love you. I'm proud to hire you. Thank you for choosing us. For all of our officers who are doing today, one of the biggest things for me is community involvement, big on policing, and I'm going to do a lot better relationships we have. You were all outstanding examples of that model. I'm very proud to be involved in this. So thank you. This time, I'd like to have a motion second to take a 10-minute recess in case, for any of the families who want to take pictures.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none, motion passed, 10-minute recess.
Nice and tall, you know? So it's an attorney. Yeah, they were.
Making some purchases. Get in there. Get ahead.
Great.
Your friend's like, I.
It's shocking. Phillips is here, John Johnson. I think that's all.
Got everybody who we missed. Dennis, you get Dennis. You let Dennis know we're starting. You let Dennis know we're starting.
One in every crowd.
Just our devoted fans left. That's good to see.
All right, we have a motion and second to resume the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none? All right, motion pass. Tiger, any executive session tonight?
No, Mayor.
All right, we need our approval of our May 1st, 2024 council meeting and executive session minutes. We have a motion and second.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Need approval of our payroll requisition list and operating expenses. A motion and second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Haney,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, this time we'll open up public comment. This is public comment on agenda items only. Seeing no public comment, we're going to close the public portion. All right, next up, we have ordinance number 10 of 2024. This is an introduction, and this is an ordinance vacating the 20-foot paper street along Atlantic Brigantine Boulevard between Boot Island and Block 3401, lots 1 through 14. Motion second.
So moved.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolution 2024-93. This is a resolution amending the City of Brigantine 2023. Should be 2024. Is this back a year? Okay, that's what I was making sure. All right. City of Brigantine 2023 year municipal budget by the insertion of a special item of revenue and appropriations from the County of Atlantic and State of New Jersey for the 2024 Click It or Ticket program. This is in the amount of $2,800. Have motion second? Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolution 2024-94. This is a resolution by the City of Brigantine, New Jersey, authorizing the purchase of 2023 Ford F-250 Super Cab under state contract 23 fleet 34922 from Nielsen Ford. This is the amount of $62,863.40. A motion second.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolution 2024-95. This is a resolution for approval to submit a municipal aid grant application, MA 2025 Brigantine 2, and execute grant agreement with New Jersey Department of Transportation. We have a motion second.
Second.
So this grant is for the installation of crosswalks at the yacht club and the rowing club. So this will help get some funding for it. All right, if there's no questions or comments, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolution 2024-96. This is a resolution authorizing the contract with Doran Engineering for the reconstruction of the beachfront parking lots at Brigantine Avenue and Roosevelt Boulevard in conjunction with 16th and 17th Street, 26th and 27th Street South, and 34th and 35th Street South, and this is the amount of $9,000. We have a motion second.
I'll make that motion.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Resolution 2024-97. These are real estate tax refunds. We have a motion second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next up, we have our consent agenda. This is BFW raffle license numbers 1060 and 1061, South Jersey Cancer Fund raffle license numbers 1062, 1063, Elks raffle license numbers 1064, 1065, St. Thomas Catholic Church raffle licenses number 1066 and 1067, South Jersey Cancer Walk request, Amateur Ham Radio request, BFW Memorial Day Parade request, Lieutenant Bill O'Brien Bike Rodeo request. We have a motion second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, can we have roll call?
You,
Yes.
Lettieri,
Yes.
Hany,
Yes.
DeLucre,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Reardon,
Yes.
Mayor Sarah,
Yes.
motion carried.
Next up, we have our council manager committee discussions. Turn it over to our city manager. He's got an exciting update for us.
I do, yes, sir. Congratulations to the police department. So I am happy to report, after doing interviews for the code enforcement supervisor position, we have made a selection and hired actually two individuals. One as our full-time code enforcement supervisor, and we did hire a part-time who was one of the candidates that also applied for the full-time position as our code enforcement inspector. So our full-time code enforcement supervisor is Stephen Desario. He is a retired state trooper. He has a bachelor's degree from Stockton College. He has extensive experience working as a zoning official, housing inspector, rental officer, code enforcement for 6 years in Commercial Township. And he also has experience as a housing officer conducting investigations on illegal housing with the Millville Housing Authority. He's there for a few years as well. Steve was a phenomenal overall pick from everybody on the board as the right person for the job with his mannerisms, with his law enforcement background. We thought would be very, very strong for what we're going to be using. And he's already started. They started working yesterday and they're hitting the ground. Excited to have him. The code enforcement inspector, which is a part-time position, we hired William Brooks, Bill Brooks. He's a retired fire inspector from the New Jersey Division of Fire Safety. Prior to that, he was retired battalion chief from the Atlantic City Fire Department, and he was the assistant in the fire prevention office for the final 5 years of his career. And he was a fire inspector. He holds a fire official license, and he too has a bachelor's degree from Stockton University. These two individuals bring a lot to the table, and in different areas, which is phenomenal. Combined, it's going to be an amazing unit. Our fire official, Jack Murray, is very excited to have him on board. Stephen with his housing experience and code enforcement experience, and Bill with his fire prevention, fire official, fire inspector experience. Together, it's going to be a phenomenal team. Like I said, they started yesterday. They've already been around looking at some of our problem properties, and they're already formulating plans to address them, which I was thrilled to hear on day 2, where they gave me what they're working on. I was very pleased with it. So I'm sure you all will be pleased. I'm sure the residents and visitors will be pleased.
Nice round of applause back. And Sagar, I really want to thank you for your efforts in this. Jack, fire chief. I think it's important to make sure that we have highly qualified people in this position. I think you've done an excellent job of making sure that we have the best candidates to give the best service to our community. And I agree with the background that both of these individuals have to be able to handle a multitude of issues. Had an opportunity to meet both individuals today for the first time. I can tell they hit the ground running, has some good ideas about how they can address the issues facing our island. I'm excited to see what they can do. I will turn it over to our department heads.
I just want to say thank you. Excuse me, came out to our cleaning event on Saturday. Did have an issue. Fire, trying to schedule to see if we can get it back again. Dates for us. It's not back. Get this up. Well, thank you. You worked all day long. Thank you. Thank you.
John, thank you so much.
Fire.
Isn't that a song? We didn't start the fire. John, I just want to thank you too for organizing that, putting that together. And there's a lot of great groups that came out to help. No Defend Brigantine Beach was out there helping the beaches. I will turn it over to our deputy mayor, Karen Beal.
Chief, do you have anything? Okay. Enforcement inspectors, I know when we first started working on this short-term rental mess that we had, Vince was saying, it might take a long time, but I want to get it right. has taken us a long time, but I think we got it right. So thank you very much for all the work that you've done on it. I also want to congratulate the newly promoted officers and their families and thank them for all their service to our community. Tiger, we just approved the 2 crosswalks, the grant application. Are we still working on the one on Roosevelt?
Yes, so the 2 that we are putting in for grants, they are very expensive because they need to be lit. We want to do signals for flashing lights because they're both on a high travel road on curves.
Right.
So that's why they were separated. I have met with John Doring and Ed Stinson, and we've discussed other crosswalks around the island that we want to have repainted, and in addition to the one at Roosevelt, because we have had quite a few people request it because of the school crossing over Roosevelt from one side to the other. So yes, that is all. John has been working on getting in touch with contractors and getting prices to do all that. But yes, that will be a part of our list, not part of this grant, but a separate project.
Great. Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure. We had a green team meeting last week. The community garden is already picking spinach and lettuce and radishes. They delivered bags of produce, fresh produce over to the seniors. They were thrilled to get it. Farmers market update, the vendors are all booked. The parking lot should be paved in time for next week's market. Also, the new software, I understand that they've started using for the vendors, making their payments has really worked very, very well. And I want to thank Al Stanley and it's our CFO for working on that, Ryan and Tiger, thank you. Golf course has been very busy in spite of the weather. The greens have been aerated, the fairways are filling in nicely. Quite a few trees have been recently torn down or cut down. They were mostly dead or dying. Hopefully we can replace a few of them here and there. I'm not sure if everyone realizes that the Brigantine Lakes is the home to the Atlantic City High School Vikings golf team. It's always great to see the young people out there playing. Yesterday, they had a match at their home course in Brigantine. It's always great to see them out there learning to play and to respect our course. Yesterday, the bingo room at the community center was dedicated to the late great Philomena Arena. The room was packed with Phil's family and friends to honor her 106 years of life. It was really a nice event, very touching. And I just want to wish everybody happy Memorial Day next week, and we'll hope for some good weather.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I'll second or third, whoever the case might be. He's just congratulating our new officer, George Coles. I wish him the best. So Captain Steve Ward, Lieutenant John Knopf, and Sergeant John Lyons, wish him the best in performance of duties as well as safe travels. Supervisors, best there overseeing Mother's Day was this past weekend. I actually couldn't make the Shredding event. I was at an early Mother's Day event, but fireworks, no pun intended. So, I'm sure that'll get ironed out. And it was, mothers out there had a great Mother's Day Sunday. God bless them all. Memorial Day weekend is coming up in a little bit. Our annual event will be Saturday or Sunday? Sunday, right? Okay. All those brave service persons who lost their lives in the performance of defending our country. So God bless their souls. Also, Philomena, that was a wonderful event for Philomena Arena. What a gal, amazing. And there were so many nice comments that were said afterwards. The one that they were all wonderful comments. The one that really, one that I remember, I guess the best, the one that like really kind of caught my attention was the young gal, the young lady that said she kind of got dinged up, banged up. Maybe she had some, case might be. She was a little down, and Philomena said, "Hey, you got to keep your chin up. Always think of something good to keep your chin up." So someone who had so many life experiences and saw so much. I mean, she was born like 1917. I don't know, World War I, I think, was winding down. Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness. So God bless her. It's nice seeing Tony, her Dick, husband, and all those family. So thank you very much. And let's to the bingo room. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Join with everyone else here, of course, congratulating our new officer and the officers who are in the police department, as well as our new employees. And wish them all the best in starting or continuing their careers in the city. Beach Committee had a meeting this past week, and for Lieutenant Fire members, and in particular, I want to thank our departmental reps. Bill sending order, of course, to John Doran. As always, tremendously informative as we discussed a number of topics, including, of course, the still evolving situation down at the south end. And although none of us have answers because of nature, it's good to know it's a subject that's been well thought out, and there are plans in place to deal with the kinds of contingencies we might experience in that area of the summer. And finally, Dennis reminds us Memorial Day is coming up. Next time we meet, we have Memorial Day, which means that we will have had our first, I think, official holiday test in season of the Brigantine Avenue Road diet, which I'm a huge fan. But I will just ask our hundreds of thousands, however many listeners we have around the globe, if you're in town, speak up. It takes you another 6 seconds to get from one end of town to the other. It's not the end of the world. The road design can work and will work if we let it. Thank you. Again, great turnout for the beach cleanup. I got to thank the garden club. Apologize for being late.
Thank you, Mayor. As usual, I want to thank everyone coming out here and spending the night with us on this beautiful night here in Brigantine. Saturday was just an absolute great day between beach cleanup. I know it was John Doring's first beach cleanup and shredding event as Clean Communities Director. Is that right? Did a fabulous job. So, and then something else that we did after that was we had a honorary street naming for past employees from Sanchez, and one of those things, the real feel good things for the Islanders is the young girls that always played at Shark Park and still do. So we had an honorary street name over at East Coast Lane. So if you get a chance, take a look. It's pretty. Next up, the Chamber of Commerce is working harder than ever. So many things. The farmers market, they have the chamber lane there. We have bonfires coming up. We have a family fun weekend that we're helping out the city this year. On the beach, on and on and on. So I really want to thank the chamber for everything they do. The Economic Development Committee, all the new businesses that are opening up. It's so wonderful to see them opening up and moving places. For example, Geotail moving uptown and businesses moving inside there. And I heard this past Saturday, some of the business, I know Coastal Soul had a good weekend, and it's like a summer day. So I recommend you checking out all the new business that Tom Rapici, the job he's doing with the baseball league is just phenomenal. We have travel teams coming in with Brigantine baseball players. Our 12-year-old team, they just won a very, very exciting game last night. In the bottom of the fifth, they scored 2 runs and beat Absecon 3-1. And the 13-year-old Babe Ruth kids are just going on. They're fabulous. They beat Ventnor last night 5-4 and held on for that win. So you get a chance to see some good baseball around the island. Hit either one of the parks. If you see the crowds, go ahead and check it out. Stop by. It's real good. Other than that, I'm always here to help, and you can find me. Thanks very much. Did I mention the Cultural Arts Commission? Okay, so we have the Italian cooking presentation on July 20th is coming up. That's going to be a good one. And September 7th is the art show. So a lot of things going on. Thanks very much.
We have our Memorial Day services coming up. It's Sunday, May 26th. We're meeting at City Hall at 10:30. There'll be a parade down the pier. The services will start at about 11 a.m. at the Veterans Triumph. It's always a great event. There's usually a couple hundred people come out to support our veterans. Always proud to see the large crowds we have here at Brigantine. Our honor and respect to the people. Thank you so much for your countries. I want to give an update on the Ocean Wind. Had an opportunity to go out and at the commissioners meeting and speak with the commissioners about our resolution and talking with them about the importance of this issue and really just asking for their help. One of the things that's really important is that commissioners have access. They're all over the community. They need, one of the things that a lot of people that meeting really advocated for is that the commissioners need to educate themselves on the issue. They need to start to talk to people in the community so people understand how this is going to impact. A lot of the information that's out there right now about these oceanfront projects is incorrect. You know, people think that they're green, they're somehow going to save the planet. They're not. If you really get into the details, these companies write thousands of pages. If you really get into the details of those documents, they'll tell you. It's not what everybody thinks it is. So had an opportunity to speak with those commissioners, both publicly and privately. The commissioners are going to do all they can to help us now. We are trying to push the county into joining in as well. Same things happening up in Ocean County. Mayor Mancini of Long Beach Township is doing the same thing that we're doing here to get the municipalities up there to pass a resolution to support the county to engage. Cape May County is already engaged. Our commissioners have now formed a subcommittee. They want to, one, review our resolution and then also start to look at what are the options for legal action for the county. They're going to report back to their board. They're actually meeting tonight. Their subcommittee meets tonight. And my understanding is that the commissioners on that subcommittee are Rich Days, John Risley, June Burns, and Andrew Park. So they're going to look at what we have and they're going to start to make resolutions and they're going to start to make recommendations on how the county should address this forward. Have standing offers at a number of municipalities to come out and speak with their governing bodies as well as speak with different organizations that they're associated with. A number of municipalities have already verbally committed to me that they're going to pass the resolution, and a number of more said they're not sure what to think about these, but they'd like me to come out and speak at their public meetings so people from the community can hear what's going on as well as their governing bodies. So we're going to try to share this information. One of the things I told people is you got to make up your mind for yourself. Do some research, look into it. If you think they're good, tell us what's good about them. But if they're not good, then you need to join in this fight. You can't just sit on the sidelines. That's why I said, if you believe in them, support them, then that's fine. But you got to give me a good reason why you do. I've spent years studying this now. I've had countless meetings with the windmill organizations themselves, these companies. And one of the things I want everyone to really start to pay attention to, all of the information in support or in defense of these ocean wind companies, it's all third party. They will never respond. They will never answer questions. They've been invited by myself, Congressman Van Drew, and a number of other organizations to come speak. Tell the truth. They won't. They've told me point blank, anything we have to say is in our federal documents, and we're not going to say anything beyond that because we don't want to be held responsible. And I think that's very telling. If you can't stand in the light and defend what it is you're doing, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. To move on to our Cove Beach erosion, the city has had several meetings with the Army Corps and New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Both agencies are working now to help us with our long-term solutions down there. Great partnerships with both groups. The Army Corps, anything with the federal government, you have to do a study, and then the study has to justify the spending. You think the city moves slow, try moving the federal government. They're trying to make sure that we have not only the help and the proper studies, but access to the proper funding sources to try to take the burden of these costs off the taxpayers of Brigantine. It's something we're very, very grateful for. The DEP is also looking at what they can do to expedite the process for the bulkheading. They're looking at two options. Bulkheading might be the best option for some of the homeowners. If your backyard's a little bigger, they think that like gabion walls might be enough. But the problem with that is you have to put it on your property. You might lose 6 to 8 feet of your property. So that might not be something that those homeowners want to do. But these are some of the ideas that are kicked around right now. We should have more information very soon for the homeowners down there about the expedited process, what it is they need to do. We will send that out. I have an email list right now for a lot of the homeowners who have asked for direct emails. We'll also send a hard copy letter, as we did at the beginning, to make sure that if there's any homeowners that live right along the waterfront there, that if they're not getting emails, that they get that letter, and we'll send it to wherever their tax bills goes. We'll send it there, because if they get the tax bill, they get this letter. And then we'll try to do everything we can to help people through that process. But I really want to say how outstanding both the Army Corps and the DEP have been. I know a lot of elected officials don't really speak highly, especially the DEP. I'm going to tell you, they have bent over backwards. I've never seen them so engaged and so helpful, and I'm really grateful for that. So we'll keep everybody posted. We should have more information soon. At this time, I'd like to open it up for public comment. Anybody wishing to be heard, please state your name and address for the record.
Tom Morgan, 117 North Roosevelt. In reference to the vacating the paper street, I don't know, did the city ever look into selling that piece of land?
I don't know why we could. I think this half of it goes to the state, half of it goes to
Yeah, why couldn't you sell it and somebody put a boat ramp there? You know,
there's no water access.
Oh, there's no water access. That's what I
Yeah,
was wondering.
there's-
I thought it was water access.
No, there's no water access. It's a paper street, and
Oh, okay.
then
Solves that, thanks.
Yep.
Good evening, and Andrea Sullivan, 2000 Ocean Avenue. Thank you. Thank you. Just, I can't tell you how thrilled I am to know. Thank you, Tiger, for making sure we've got what we call in the neighborhood an STRSR that's now on the job and going full steam ahead. Tiger, could I get is there any going to be a contact number that's gonna be like a 24-hour thing or a hotline like that, or is it just we just got to call the zoning office? You'll have information about that.
So I would continue to call the police department, obviously, and
For
the fire
the
prevention
non-emergency,
office.
unless it's an emergency. Okay.
Correct. And,
Okay.
and the fire prevention office.
Okay.
You could always call there if you need a more specific question, not something where you need a police officer to arrive on.
Oh, yeah, yeah, well, everybody kind of knows that. All right, in reference to the crosswalk, I know I spoke to Karen, you at the meeting last week after somebody was talking about like walking across the pedestrians along Ocean Avenue. It gets a little bit scary and hairy. And I was, in Philly and around here in like Louisville Townships, you'll see those flashing pedestrian where you can press the button and they start to flash. And then it makes it, the motorists, they have to stop for the crosswalk where they're supposed to anyway, but and I think some of them are solar powered, so it might be something to look into.
Well, that's what, if you heard, we just.
I heard
did
that,
a
but I
grant.
wasn't sure if
We
it was
did a grant,
electric.
And we're putting 2 of them on.
Was it
Bayshore
hardwire or is
Avenue.
it solar? I'm just trying to think it might be cheaper solar.
But
I don't know.
they're extremely
They're
expensive.
solar, John? Okay, cool. All right, I sent all of you, well, I'll back up a little bit. back in February, I submitted a petition from the 20th Street residents on behalf of all of us. We were trying to lobby for a one-way traffic flow because of all the craziness. And I sent all of you today pictures showing you some congestion where I personally drive an F450 dually turbo diesel. And I got stuck about third way down the block like this throughout July weekend. And if you know what it's like to back up that diesel into Ocean Avenue, I don't have any beepers. It's just rear cameras. At one point when I got close to the corner, I had to stop, turn my flashers on, get out and stop traffic so I could back my rig back into Ocean Avenue. So the traffic ahead of me was like 6 cars. Were they going to go back into Brigantine Avenue? So I finally got through the intersection, backed into the 400 block where the house is, so everybody could clear out. And then I went down to 26th Street and went by the ball field because I know there was I could get through that way. Anyways, that was just so lobbying for our street for sure, because you had the petitions and all the signatures, except for a couple obvious signatures that are missing. And I did some driving around thinking, we have 8th Street, I think 10th Street, 11th Street, 12th Street, 13th Street, and around now where Jersey County and Ernest is. So they're like different one ways. So I thought by looking at, we have between 40th and 8th, we have 32 streets. 12 of them are no parking on one side. So if we made them one way, all the evens going east, all the odds going west, we could open up parking on both sides. It will be easier for emergency vehicles. It'll be easier for traffic flow. And you could get 12 more streets with parking on both sides. And especially safer around the ball field because the kids don't have to go looking, whiplash in both ways. Traffic will come one way this way, traffic will come one way that way. I guess I'm from Philly because I know like so much easier when you have one-way traffic, especially when the streets are narrow. And personally, all those streets, mostly between 8th and 40th, you can't get 2 vehicles through there. One has to tuck into a driveway or pull into an opening where there's no cars. But on a jammed up weekend, and 20th Street is jammed like every day, all summer long, it's impossible to get through. So I'm just going to give this again as part of the record from my 5 minutes of bloviating here. But I did email all of you. So I just want you to consider this suggestion, my pitch for one-way traffic flow to and from between Brigantine Avenue and Ocean Avenue. Thank you. And again, thank you again for coming to the STR Craziness Rescue. I'm so happy to have somebody that's going to be enforcing all this stuff because honestly, I get a lot of phone calls, a lot of text messages. Even Sunday, I had somebody send me a little laundry list. I can't bring this stuff up. I'm just going to tell them to now call the zoning enforcement office. Thank you.
NH Stokes, 308 27th Street. Good news about the 2 new employees recruited. Secondly, your comments about the county. That's encouraging. And I think some credit is due to you and this council and to DEP plus Down Beach. Because without some pushing from you and those organizations, I don't think the county would have done it. So once, not too long ago, you mentioned the need for pushing the county. Well, the county needed pushing, and it was done in a manner I think that was effective. Without it, I think the county would still have that attitude of it's a done deal, we're not going to bother, etc. So thanks for doing the pushing that was necessary. And the other question that concerns our state representatives. What are they going to do? Obviously, they're outnumbered. However, I think they could be doing some more. So are we going to do a little pushing in that area as well?
working on something. I don't want to say too much, but there is a piece of legislation that I'm working to get bipartisan support to get introduced on the state level that may help us, but I don't want to say what it is right now. So we're getting help on the state level as well.
Okay, so keep us informed, and I think some of us will continue to go to those county meetings because I think they were effective.
Great. Keep the pressure on, right?
Pressure on, that's right. Thank you.
And Mrs. Phillips, you've spoken very well at the county meetings too, and I thank you for all that you've done. And I think you've been a great asset to Brigantine, so thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Keep it up.
Mrs. Phillips, I'd like to thank you as well for all you do. Whether or not we have to, it's encouraging to see what the commission's doing now, the county commissioners and all. But I have a good feeling with or without their support, come January 20th next year, we're going to be in a different position. Thanks.
All right, if there's no other public comment.
Here we go. My name is Michelle Eastman. I reside in 212 North Roosevelt. I'm a Brigantine resident. I have two issues that I need your help with this evening. First one, it has come to my attention that all my neighbors received a mailed letter confirming that Brigantine water system recently violated New Jersey drinking water requirements. Yet I did not receive a letter. This oversight is concerning, especially considering I have two young children and a husband with a compromised immune system. I understand that my landlord may have received this letter, but it makes no sense as she does not reside at 212 North Roosevelt. My family and I do. As a resident who pays taxes through my monthly high rent, I believe it is my right to be promptly informed if there are any issues with our water source. My address is registered with the city as a rental. I kindly request that you ensure these critical letters are addressed directly to the residents and not solely to the landlord. It is unfair that renters are left uninformed on various issues, such as the potential water contamination. And my second issue, again, my name is Michelle. Both my children and I have a deep connection to Brigantine Community School, where I attended from kindergarten through 8th grade. I have a profound love for Brigantine and especially Farmers First. I'm advocating for the elimination of all weed killer and pesticide spraying on our school grounds. I will provide a photo that was taken at school on April 22nd. Parents observed True Green signs warning against children playing on the grass for 72 hours due to spraying that occurred on previous Saturday. This was confirmed by Public Works and also Principal Glenn Robbins. This is insufficient time for toxic chemicals to dissipate by Monday. Despite True Green's claims of short drying process, study indicates that these chemicals linger for days. They contaminate water, air, and the grass that our kids play. True Green's pesticide ingredients, including glyphosate, dilox, and chlorphenoxy, are associated with childhood cancers, autoimmune disorders, neurotoxicity, and developmental issues. Moreover, recent research from UC Berkeley links glyphosate exposure in childhood to liver inflammation and all kinds of disorders in early adulthood, potentially leading to severe health issues later in life. Despite mounting evidence linking glyphosate, also any of your weed killer is glyphosate. Regulatory agencies like the EPA have downplayed its dangers, siding with the pesticide industry. The Environmental Working Group highlights glyphosate as the most widely used herbicide in the country. We all use it. Spray it on the lawn, trying to get it not sprayed in school grounds. There's significant concerns regarding exposure. Additionally, the United States Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry analysis has linked glyphosate to early non-Hodgkin lymphoma, emphasizing the need to monitor children's exposure to these toxic substances. Sarah, I've done my research, like you said. If I find something I'm passionate about, I'm really going to do my research. Dr. Claire Jervis from University of Wisconsin Department of Family Medicine underscores the heightened risk for children if they are exposed to pesticides. Due to their smaller smaller size and ongoing development. She says children's frequent contact with grass and tendency to put objects in their mouth, such as grass or flowers, increase their vulnerability to environmental toxins, contributing to the rise in childhood disorders, like we all know, such as autism and ADHD. Triggering products contain alarming percentages of carcinogens. Some of these are banned in most countries. Endocrine disruptors and reproductive toxins, posing grave environmental and health risks. Urgent action is needed to protect our children, especially as the school plans to cultivate health. I just helped the kids yesterday plant all their apples. Basil and everything. We really shouldn't be spraying chemicals near the food. As a community, we must reject the use of carcinogenic chemicals near areas where children grow up. Most children delight in exploring nature's wonders, including dandelions, bugs, and chemical-free grass. It is imperative that we maintain a zero-tolerance policy for carcinogenic chemicals near such initiatives as the new park. I've included a photo of my pesticide-free lawn at Brigantine. It's been maintained without any chemicals for 6 years, and it's absolutely beautiful, underscoring the viability of chemical-free alternatives. I am committed to supporting this crucial change, and I'm available to assist in any capacity. I did send an email to several of you. I haven't received some response. That email was sent on April 22nd. Whole time, I have 2 minutes. If eliminating all weed killer and pesticide spraying on school grounds is not agreed upon, then we should all agree that we should only spray during extended school breaks or we would have to coordinate with the Brigantine City for their summer program. Thank you for attending. Send these photos to because I'm really into this stuff and I'm the one that does all the research. So this photo was taken by one of my best friends. Have you received like 20 photos?
Any other public comment? All right. Michelle, have you spoken with the superintendent? All right, if there's no other public comment, close the public portion. All right, are there any final council comments? All right, seeing none, can we have a motion and second to adjourn? Make that motion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, seeing none, motion passed. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and watching your council team at work.